Hello, my name is Nelson Litsweni. I am a financial planner and I am a writer, and I've written several books on personal finance. And today I want to talk about a concept that so many of us engage in our lives. And I want to be able to give a little bit more details about that concept. In my book, My Money, My Power, I have a chapter that basically focuses on this particular subject that I want to talk about today. And that topic is your money working for you? Or what does it really mean to say you want your money to work for you? So many people do say, I don't want to work for my money, I want my money to work for me. And today I'm going to give you 7 areas in which you can actually have your money working for you. And those are highlighted, 6 of them are highlighted in here. And I'm going to give you a bonus area in which you can put your money. Before we continue to get into those, I want to make it very clear that the content of this video is educational purposes only, and it is not to be construed as financial advice. So if financial advice is sought, it is important that you seek the services of a trained professional. So now let's talk about the 7 areas. I'm just going to list them first, and then I'm going to go a little bit into details about that. I don't have a lot of time to be able to cover this ground over here. So the 7 areas, most obvious one is a profit maker. Your money can work for you as a profit maker, and I'm going to explain what that means. Now, the second area is what we call dividend earner. It can earn dividends for you. So specifically, there's profit and there's dividends, and there's those are different types of incomes. The next type of an income that your money can earn for you, it's called an interest. So your money can work for you as a profit maker, a dividend earner, or an interest earner. Now, the fourth area in which your money can work for you is that which we call rental income. Now, you know exactly what you would need to do to make your money earn rent for you. Now, the fifth area is what we call capital appreciation. When you put your money into these particular things, they appreciate in value, which means your money goes up in its own value. The sixth area is that which we call royalty earner. Your money can work for you as a royalty earner. The seventh area is that which we call a annuity income, otherwise known as a pension income. So now you have to understand that unless your money is employed deliberately in one of these 7 areas, then it is not working for you. So to say I want my money to work for me and not employ it in one of these 7 areas and their derivatives, then obviously it will not be working for you. Let's look at the profit. The money makes a profit when it is invested in a business. Now, the businesses that can either trade goods and services, all right? Trade goods, trade services. When you buy these goods, you put a profit margin there and you sell them, and the difference between what you paid and what you get as a sales, that is called a profit. Same with services. You know, to render a service may cost you some money, and the difference between what you paid to be able to render the service and what the customer is willing to pay, that is a profit. So when you are busy making profit, when you are in business, most people know that area is that my money works for me because I am putting it in a business entity. Now let's look at the second area, which is called dividend earner. Money only earns a dividend when it is invested in someone else's business. And when that person makes a profit, they share the profit with you, and that portion that they share with you is called a dividend. Now you can invest your money on the listed stock exchange. On stock exchange, you can find companies that are listed there, or it would be companies, private equity, where you are putting your money into someone else's business. They do all the work, they make a profit, and they share the profit with you. That is the portion that we call a dividend. So if you are investing on the stock exchange and you are looking specifically for dividends, then you have to specifically look for companies that are good in paying dividends, and you have a history that you can look at and say, over the past 4, 5, 10 years, these guys have always paid a dividend every year, and so you invest in those kind of companies. The third area is, can your money make an interest for you? Okay, the income that is called an interest can only be earned if you take your money and lend it out. Now you say, wait a minute, when I put my money in the bank, they give me interest. Yes, when you put your money in the bank, they give you interest because technically you have lent your money to the bank. When you look at the accounting books for the bank, you will realize that all the deposits that they collect are called liabilities to the bank, which means all the depositors are lenders to the bank. So when you are lending money to the bank, you are going to earn an interest. Another area in which you can earn an interest is when you are buying bonds. Now, it can be retail bonds. Now, bonds generally, if they are sold by the government, means you are basically lending money to the government. There are other institutions as well that list bonds on a stock exchange. When you are buying bonds, you are basically lending money to either the government or whatever institution is raising a bond on the stock market or on a bond market, so to speak. Now, interest is almost always determined by the central bank, so the rates that are determined by the central bank. So you have to be able to look and say, will I earn enough interest if I buy bonds or lend my money or put my money in the bank? And the bank will obviously give you the interest rates that they are willing to pay if you put so much of your money. And so you have to be able to think about that. It's deliberately decide that you want your money to be an interest earner, keeping in mind that interests are almost always controlled by the central bank. And I say almost always because some money lenders do not basically look at what the central bank is saying. So if you also want to be an interest earner, you could be a money lender, and whoever you lend your money to gives you back interest. So that's the third way in which you can have your money work for you, either as a money lender or putting money in the bank or buying retail bonds or bonds by the government or the institutions that in a bond market. So that's a way that you got to think about it. Now, the fourth area is what we call rental income. Now, a lot of people would obviously know where you could get a rent. Rent is when you are buying real estate and you are putting tenants in your real estate property and they pay you income. For you, it's an income that we call rental. Now, it is not limited just to real estate. You could rent stuff out. We've seen people renting out tents or chairs or equipment. There are companies that are just lending out, for example, building equipment. I mean, if you are building, you don't necessarily have to own all the equipment. You just need it for a little while, and after the building is done, you don't want to be stuck with all this material. So you go to a company that lends out equipment. So you could be that company. So rental income can be earned from real estate or can be earned from renting stuff that you have out to people who don't necessarily need to own those things for a long time. They just want to use them and bring them back to you, and you can rent them out to another person. So that is called rental income. The fourth area I have said is capital appreciation. Capital appreciation is when you buy things that are going to grow in value. It is generally accepted, for example, when you buy commodities like gold. Gold is not really that tradable. You can't do much with it except if you buy it and you hold it, it grows in value. Same thing. Sometimes you can put your money in real estate and it grows in value. Sometimes you can buy stocks on the stock exchange for the purpose of what we call growth shares. When you are buying growth shares, you are basically looking at things that are going to grow in value, and later on you're going to trade them off and get your profit. That's what we call profit taking on the stock exchange. When you bought a share at a particular price and now it has gone up and you want that profit out, we call it profit taking. But it's basically the initial premise was you wanted something that grows in value. The sixth area that you need to think about is that what we call royalty income. Royalty income is for people that own patents on things, or book writers or musicians or great engineers that have great patents that can be able to have this thing running for 50 years. They say, when you write a book, in most countries, you are allowed to earn a royalty on that book for 50 years, and then it falls into the public domain, and then anybody can republish it and make money out of it. So various industries have different time limits in which you can earn a royalty income. The seventh type of income is that what we call an annuity income. Annuity income is basically when you are investing money in a pension fund. Now that is something that everybody who works needs to at least do for the rest of their lives, to monthly put money in there, and it will work for you when you don't want to work anymore. For example, at the end of that time when you say, I don't want to work, I am done, I want to sit down, then your money that you've been putting away in a retirement fund or a pension fund and has been working for you because it's been invested, by fund managers, wherever it's been invested, now when you sit down, it comes back to you as a pension income or annuity income. So those are the 7 areas in which your money can work for you. So you need to think about, is your money working for you? Have you deliberately put it in areas where it is going to work for you? Like I said, all these 7 areas have books that have been written on them, so there's a lot that can go in there. And if you need more advice on this, you need to definitely get the services of a trained professional. Just quickly, remember, your money can earn for you as a profit maker, as a dividend earner, as an interest earner, as a rental income earner, for capital appreciation, royalty income, and of course annuity or pension income. So that is basically then in a nutshell what I wanted to cover today about your money working for you. Like I said, my name is Nelson Letsweni. If you want to come in contact with us, you can contact us on our social media platforms. My Facebook page is Money Skills with Nelson Letsweni, or you can go on our company Facebook page, which is Moedi Financial Training right here. Moedi Financial Training Facebook page. We can contact us there as well. Or you can send us an email at info@moedi.net, info@moedi.net, or moedi.orders@gmail.com. And my Twitter handle is @Nelson Letsweni. And of course, you can check out our websites, www.moedi.net or www.nelsonletsweni.com. Now, you can also subscribe, of course, to this channel. There'll be many more topics that will be covered in this channel as we continue to explore the area of financial advice. Now, remember, nothing in this audio, as we said, in this video, as we said, should be considered as financial advice, but it is just for educational purposes. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.